What's up, church? I am finally back with another video. I know you guys have been wondering where I have been because I have not posted a video since my live last Wednesday, but everything is great. I am doing well. I am just focused on living my best life and not putting too much on my plate. So I am so excited to get to do this G-Status ATL Hustle Season 1, Episode 6 recap for several reasons. First and foremost, we were all disappointed last week because we received yet another bloopers and outtakes episode, which was not what we were expecting, my God. But we did receive a new episode this week, and just as the production had issues last week with producing the episode on time, there was yet another hurdle that they had to overcome this week. I know the episode was uploaded. The first episode was uploaded Sunday at 10 p.m., I believe, somewhere around that time. But at some point between Sunday and or Monday, YouTube pulled the episode 6. And episode 6 is titled Empire State of Mind. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Empire State of Mind or Mine, but I guess it could go either way. But back to the video being pulled. Now, as a YouTube content creator, and I have only been doing YouTube videos for 2 years, guys, 2 years. I think I started my YouTube channel 3 years ago, but you guys know that I was in an almost fatal car accident, and it was a police chase and so on and so forth. But I was in that accident and I was hit, and I kind of took about 8 months off to recover because of struggling with anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation, as well as bodily injuries that I was recovering from. But even in my 2 to 3 year time frame on YouTube, one thing I've always done was research and make myself very aware of YouTube's rules and or, well, I should say, as well as rules that are to protect us as YouTube content creators. And I must say, I do have to contact Ja. I was actually going to address this with him before telling you guys, but I felt like because this episode was public and the comment was public, I should address it publicly first. And I am so disappointed with Ja and G-Status ATL Hustle production for re-uploading the video and adding it's a do-over, fuck copyrights. I felt like that was almost career suicide for G-Status ATL Hustle as well as Ja as it pertains to being a beginner in this YouTube game and entertainment as a whole. Copyrights are set in place to protect the creator, and it is a tad bit hypocritical and an oxymoron for G-Status ATL Hustle to put fuck copyrights at the beginning of their video when copyrights are in place to protect you, my God. So I'm assuming there was music or something that was imposing on as copyright infringements in the initial video. I don't know what it was, but it was something apparently. And Ja can tell me later on what it was. But to put fuck copyrights means that you don't value your own work. Copyrights is what allows the artist, singer, musician, YouTube content creator to own their footage as well as get paid off of it. Even the record labels, there are copyrights put in place so no one can steal your work. So I feel like it was so irresponsible to put fuck copyrights on your own work. That means you're saying to the public they can steal G-Status ATL Hustle episodes from you, upload it on their channel, and make money off of you. When you say fuck copyrights, that's what fucking the copyrights would do you. It would fuck you because it would leave you to not make money off of your own work because you would no longer own it. So I was so sad to see that. I'm thinking, oh my God, copyrights are in place to protect the content creator. Beyonce gets paid because of copyrights. Copyrights allows for no one else to take your work and make money off of it. And that's why it confused me with that opening, because apparently Ja used something that was not of his. So when you present your reality webisode and you put somebody else's something in it and you can get paid off of it and they're not, that is called stealing. So you can't even present yourself as a person or a brand of character if you're saying fuck copyrights. That's like saying fuck the laws that prevent your house from getting stolen. Fuck the laws that prevents you from being attacked or hurt or harmed. Or there are so many laws that are in place, even though sometimes as black men and women, we get slighted, but copywriting is a law and a system put in place to protect whatever it is you create as a content creator on any level. So to say fuck it is like you saying fuck yourself in your own work, my God. So I know I've gone on too long explaining that, but I was just so upset that it was almost hard for me to focus on the episode because of fuck copyrights. Like, Ja is gonna really regret that, because when you begin to build your brand and money starts coming in and then people begin to steal from you, you're going to see that that was a very irresponsible comment to make. YouTube pulled it because whoever's music or work you were using it or was using did not give you permission, and you were also not compensating them for their time, whether it's their voice or their writing or whatever it is. People are due their compensation unless they give you permission to use it without compensation. So it's sad that Ja would get upset and say fuck copyrights and to be mad at YouTube, when the reality of it is the drop of that ball was all your fault. YouTube has all of its instructions and guidelines written for you to research and find them out. So that was completely off and wrong, my God. Now, let's address this opening, this recap, the intro before the intro, my God. Please, we no longer need to see a recap of what happened the entire season. 6 minutes and 30 seconds is not what the viewer wants to see. They want to see this current episode. Give us 60 seconds of recaps and some flashbacks of what happened previously from the previous episode, or what is even going to correlate and connect to this episode. Typically, your flashbacks help connect something that has happened in the past during the season to what is going to happen in this episode. And I don't think anything happened from the flashbacks really of 6 minutes and 30 seconds that we needed to understand this episode, my God. This episode pretty much was self-explanatory. We didn't need a recap. So please work on cutting down the intro, the recap, the opening, because all of the fans are getting frustrated by the opening, my God. Now, let's jump into this recap officially. Now, we have to jump back to the Akeem versus Adrian argument, which was really Adrian sticking up for Melanja Da because he knows that Akeem can come with the BS, my God. So one thing that really bothered me about Corday in this scene was he did a confessional. And in his confessional, he said that if you're bothered by someone talking about someone else to this degree, then you're the one that has the problem. And I'm thinking maybe Corday misspoke, because any person of good character and integrity would want to defend a friend who's being bashed, talked about, and or being lied on. So I'm not sure how that translates in Corday's mind, that being bothered by someone talking about a friend or a colleague or a buddy, how is that as a reflection of their issue? I'm confused with that. But Corday has said a lot that I don't agree with this season, my God. So he is just being consistent with the character that he is playing on this show, my God. But I will also say that Corday is supposed to be here tomorrow, my God, to interview with me at 6 p.m. So I will promise to have that interview up by 10 p.m. at the latest. as long as he arrives on time and he actually shows up, because we were supposed to film last Wednesday, but that never happened. So I know Corday released his single, I believe, yesterday or the day before. So he was waiting to come here when he had some music out and some workouts for us to be able to purchase, and he can promote that as well. So hopefully Corday will be at the loft tomorrow to be interviewed by yours truly, my God. Now, the only thing that I want to address that happened additionally in that back and forth between Adrian and Akeem was the kiss. I was confused as to why, one, Adrian was, I guess Adrian was trying to resolve the issue by inviting Akeem to brunch for them to talk it over brunch, but he just kept inviting him to brunch, as well as then at some point grabbed Akeem's face as if he was about to kiss him. Now, I was totally lost, totally confused. I wish that Tramel or someone else who was there would have mentioned that action, or at least addressed it, because I think the viewing audience is confused as a whole in reference to why Adrian looked as if he was grabbing Akeem's face to kiss him, my God. And I never really defend Akeem that often, but in that split second, I was team Akeem in reference to, if we are going back and forth and we're arguing, why are you trying to hug up and kiss on me and grab my face? Like, let's stay on track here, my God. And it could be a tad bit of making Akeem feel like, or at least Akeem feeling like it was Adrian playing games, because it could come across that the argument was for camera and now he's trying to clean it up, my God. But Adrian did say he don't care about cameras. And I'm glad we saw this whole kiss and grabbing of the face situation, because it actually validates a tad bit Akeem pushing Adrian, because last week, well, it was about 3 weeks ago, my God, in episode 4, I believe it was, or 5, was it 4 or 5? I think it was 4, because I believe the bloopers episode was considered episode 5. That was when we saw Akeem push Adrian from behind, and we were all just gagging as to why Akeem would put his hands on Adrian. But now we see Adrian actually put his hands on Akeem first, even if it was to give him a little kiss, my God. Now, this episode is titled Empire State of Mind, which is appropriate because of a few of the cast members going to New York for Fashion Week. And we first saw Adrian and Melange Da in New York. It was Adrian's first time flying, as well as going to New York. And it bothered me a tad bit from Milan's perspective of addressing Sherrod showing up, because Adrian said he invited Sherrod, and the fact that Milan was still stuck on having talked behind Sherrod's back in reference to the apartment where he had his networking event at wasn't really his. So in that scene, or actually wasn't even in the scene, it was in the confessional, Melange Da also added how much he or she is annoyed by Sherrod. But that was confusing because we didn't see Sherrod and Melange Da have much interaction. And as this episode progressed, we saw that Melange Da and Sherrod were pretty much getting along. So it was so strange to even see her say that she was annoyed by Sherrod, as well as the fact that she didn't even have any clue if anyone mentioned what she said to Sherrod. Now, the one thing I don't know if you guys caught that I caught in the actual live footage when Adrian and Milan began to talk about Sherrod, Adrian spoke very highly of Sherrod, and then we saw that Milan kind of backtracked because Adrian said that Sherrod was a really cool dude, and then I think Melange Da said the same thing, agreed, like, yeah, he does seem cool from what I can see on social media. So I was so bothered that Melange Da in the confessional, all the confessionals do happen after the fact, so maybe something else went down between them two. But it was interesting to see how in one moment, Melange Da is annoyed by Sherrod, but then when she was faced to talk about Sherrod in front of Adrian, and Adrian had great things to say, she kind of folded and said, and agreed with Adrian in reference to him being a cool, seemingly kind of person. Next, let's address Sherrod and Adrian going out to lunch or brunch, I believe it was, not sure, but they actually met up. It was a very positive, enlightening, and productive conversation. They were encouraging each other and they were talking about the fashion show and so on and so forth. Sherrod even said that he was staying clear of everyone to avoid the drama so that he can stay focused on what he needs to do with bettering himself. Now, the only thing that caught my attention, my God, in that scene was Adrian saying that he hoped that he could get some dick in New York. And then it kind of faded out and he actually added that he would want some ass as well, my God. So that was interesting to hear because we have not seen Adrian really speak sexually or suggestively on camera, but he clearly wanted some dick from somebody in New York. Now, I'm not sure if he was referring to from Sherrod or not, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say he was just speaking in general, my God. Now, I was so confused by the Adrian versus KL Allen issues and drama and argument and how it became so heated the night before, I guess, and then it carried over to the next day. And we were being caught up only to find out they were arguing over a steamer and or an electrical outlet at the fashion show venue, my God. I don't know if that was just kind of played up for a scene because KL Allen went off. He was cursing, acting inappropriately. It was so disgusting to see, and I was surprised that Adrian didn't turn up as much because he turned all the way up when Akeem was acting a fool, but he didn't turn up as much when KL Allen was talking to him. And I feel like KL Allen was starting to come across condescendingly and demeaning because he stated that he was schooling Adrian, but what I will say is, if Adrian was just simply asking the question if there is an outlet for him to plug up his steamer and if he's gonna have access to it, that whole blow up that KL Allen gave was just inappropriate and it was null and void. It was pointless. So this man, KL Allen, was going in and cursing and going off like somebody stole his firstborn child, my God. 3 quickly things to address. We did see, even though Milan Jada said that she was annoyed by Sherrod, that she chose to play nice in Sherrod's face. They both were playing nice, but I'm not sure if Sherrod was playing and or who Sherrod was referring to. Because I don't know if you guys caught in his confessional, he was saying he was going to play fake and play nice as long as someone else does, but he never mentioned if he was referring to Milan Jada or someone else that he knew at the fashion show, my God. Secondly, at the fashion show, Milan and Adrian arguing over stockings and hairy legs. Like, what is this show coming to? This is so petty. Milan Jada didn't shave her legs because she thought she was wearing stockings. Adrian's supposed to bring the stockings. Who was at fault? Probably Adrian, because Adrian said he was going to bring them. But I know for me, I know I like to be overly prepared, so I probably would have bought my own stockings, especially if it wasn't my intention to shave my legs, because when you think about a designer and or a wardrobe stylist, they have a lot on their plate. So I would at least bring the stockings myself, my God. The third quick thing from the fashion show was that Sherrod was winning. He was positive. He looked great in all the clothing. He came for one fashion show, ended up booking 4 gigs, my God. So shout out and props to Sherrod for coming across when this season opened like the underdog because of his porn, and he is still making moves like no other, even having porn and sex tapes or clips under his belt, my God. But I was so proud to see him walking the runway, and the clothes looked great on him. He looked so handsome walking that runway, and it was cute to see him and Milan have their cute interactions, but I'm wondering, is this going to spill over to things being addressed? Because I do know that in that scene somewhere, Milan Jada mentioned that she was going to have to address what she said about Sherrod to his face before someone else says it. Oh, and it was cool, even though I'm not sure that the KL Allen segment of the fashion show was produced or executed the best way it could have been executed. I will say it was great to see them do a Black Lives Matter type of a theme, although I wish that it would have gone hard. But I know that people start from all different kinds of levels. No, scrap that. KL Allen's ass cursed out Adrian about how much he has done New York Fashion Week and how important New York Fashion Week is, my God, and how many times he has done it. So I can't even give him a pass for it being your first time and you're just being a beginner. That Black Lives Matter segment should have been sickening. It was not up to par. And it's no shade to Adrian, it's all shade to KL Allen because he had so much fucking mouth when he was cursing out Adrian and schooling Adrian for this Black Lives Matter fashion show scene to not be pulled off the right way. I feel like the billboards that they had with like no justice, no peace and Black History Month was just like, give me a white piece of paper. I'm going to write with a Sharpie and that's that. It could have been painted. It could have been colorful. Could have been something. Even the Afro wigs weren't really high fashion to me. It was like they went to a Party City or a clown or costume store and grabbed a black curly haired wig and it could have been sickening. And I'm only going in on this because of how KL Allen's ass went off on Adrian as if he was a pro and knew how to execute and handle this show the right way. But other than that, from Adrian's standpoint, with it being his first time, I will say it was cool, but not from KL Allen claiming to be this pro, my God. Last but not least, let's address this random closing scene at Zafar's home with pole dancing, and then there was Charlie, there was Milan Jada, there was Sherrod, there was True Fine, and what I will say is, it was great to see True Fine in this element. He was twerking, he was laughing, he was having fun. He didn't seem to come across judgmental, but we didn't get to hear much from his mouth. He didn't say much, so we don't know if he had something shady to say because he didn't really speak much. But it was great to see a lighter, less judgmental or condescending side of True Fine because he seemed to not be bothered about where they were and who he was chilling with and having fun in that moment when they were all pole dancing, my God. Now, I was also surprised, if you guys weren't surprised, to see that my boo Charlie Exile could not pole dance. I expected more from him, although I can't pole dance neither, my God. Then we had the closing of the show where Tremel and Corday walked in, and it was just like a dark cloud came over Zafar's apartment, my God. Even when they walked in, I don't think that Tremel was being shady, but Tremel did say, oh, this is nice, but then had to correct himself and then say he had been to Zafar's apartment before. It's almost like the first episode when Sherrod and Tremel were acting as if they didn't know each other, but then they began to talk like they did know each other, my God. But Corday shading Zafar's apartment because when Tremel said it was nice, and then I believe Corday said it's not nice, ... it's great, and looking around and being shady. My thing is, I love beautiful decor, I love great furniture, I love high-end things, but I'm never going to go in someone else's home and overly critique as well as talk about where they live, especially having invited me into their home and personal space. Now, I might have some thoughts in my head, my God, but I'm not gonna say it out loud because the reality of it is, this is this person's home and you don't know what they had to struggle, fight, or work for to get what they have. So I feel like that was just so inappropriate, and we continuously see Corday in a horrible light. My God. So I cannot wait to interview him tomorrow. I'm going to ask all the questions that you guys want to know, as well as be respectful because I do want Corday to feel comfortable and share his story because I do believe he has a great story. But that's about it, guys. Please be sure to tune in tomorrow for my interview with Corday at 10 p.m. because we're filming at 6 and that should give me enough time to actually edit and get it up by 10, my God. And if it's not up by 10, y'all asses will know it's because Corday didn't show up or Corday was late. And I'll probably do a live video if Corday doesn't show up, my God. So church, pray, stretch out your hands, and send some prayers for Corday to be able to show up to the loft tomorrow to be able to film, because you guys have been waiting and anticipating for him to arrive, my God. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please follow me on all social media outlets. Thumbs up this video, comment down below, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Bye guys.